Hello, this is Ashur Kanoon with Pulse Secure Technical Marketing, and today we're going to talk about a few of the advantages of using Pulse One. So as you may know, Pulse One is offered in two flavors. One of them is a SaaS offering, so it's something that we host that's available. It can be spun up really quickly, or for those that actually want something on-premise, we also sell Pulse One on a PSA 7000. So you can have it on-prem and manage it and use it as you wish on your own network or inside of a data center. So a couple of the cool advantages of having Pulse One, especially when we start talking about the on-prem version, is aggregation. So when we talk aggregation, there's a few different things we're talking about. So imagine in this scenario, you have a few PCS devices deployed. These can be really anywhere. And then you might also on-prem have a few policy secure boxes deployed. And again, these can be really anywhere. Let's say you have a few different buildings. You have a few different data centers that you have these deployed in. And along with PPS, you're also using Profiler. So Profiler will go out and discover many devices, whatever's connected to your network. If you want to learn more about Profiler, there's more quick access series videos that you can go find and watch. But what you'll see is with the on-prem solution, we have logs and other things on the devices. But right now, we'll just focus on logs here. And on PPS, we have logs and profile devices, right? And again, you can have a bunch of these everywhere. In this scenario, there's 5 appliances total, but we have many customers that are deploying dozens of devices. And typically, without any type of log aggregation, you would have a syslog server, you would have a SIM, something you're using, where you would aggregate all that stuff. And then search it. But for profiling, the profiling device, the devices that we profile, those you may not be exporting, or you might be exporting a log, and the log has all the data you need, but it's not in a format that's easily consumed. So that's where Pulse One aggregation comes in. So in Pulse One aggregation, there's a few cool things we can do. We can push all the logs and everything to Pulse One, and instead of just having the data aggregated and nothing else, it's actually processed and indexed. So we have a few cool things. We'll have dashboards. So these dashboards can be simple things like how many users do I have connecting from PCS, how many users do I have connecting from PPS, things like what groups are they in terms of AD, LDAP, what compliance state are those appliances on, roles, realms, how are they connecting, what applications are they using. So you'll see plenty of dashboards around the connectivity. Then you'll also see dashboards in terms of devices. So when you're using Policy Secure, there's profile dashboards, there's device discovery reports, a lot of cool things here. But if you're just using the standalone devices and not aggregating everything, you'd have to go to each one and see what's going on. But with Pulse One, we aggregate everything. When we aggregate it, you'll see them in the dashboards. You'll see them in the reports. And within reports, there's a bunch of canned reports that you can do, where we can say, like, look up anything that's mobile, look up anything that's connecting via Wi-Fi or via a switch, things like that. And then there's also the searchable logs. So by searchable logs, what I'm saying is these are reports, pre-canned reports that will look at a log. The log is clickable, So let's say my first search is I want to see who's authenticated. So based on everybody here, who's authenticated, and then it shows me a bunch of users authenticating. Within the users, I can either click on a specific user and just look at the logs from that user. I can look at the connection method. I click on that, and it gives me just that specific method. I can change kind of the range, the date range and the time range and things like that. And the other cool thing is all of these can be saved. So we have a bunch of pre-canned searches and lookups and things like that, the way we index things. But if you create your own, you can actually go ahead and save them. And one of the other cool things is since there's role-based access to the Pulse One, you can share your searches, you can save those searches. Those searches will only be available to a particular type of admin, like an operator, if you want to. So it really makes us flexible. And one of the other cool things is since the PSA 7000 does the appliance management for things like configuration management, health checks, and things like that, once you connect PCS to Pulse One, which is really a couple simple steps, once you actually connect it, the aggregation happens automatically. There's nothing else you need to do. All the data gets pushed from the logs, from the profiler and other things. And then once we start seeing the logs and all the data, all the indexing and all that stuff happens to make it quickly and easily searchable. So if you haven't tried Pulse One, please try it. If you have more than, say, 2 devices and you want to aggregate them somewhere without having to spin up a SIM or something like that, give it a try. You can visit pulsesecure.net/trynow to request software, or you can just go to pulsesecure.net to get more information. Thank you.